All right, the chair would call to order the meeting for Monday, July 20th of the Board of Education. And we'll start with open forum with staff and school highlights. Rich Jones will take the lead on the School Bus Safety Competition Awards.
Thank you. Each year, the state hosts a transportation safety conference. It's kind of been all over the state. The past few years, it's been held in Wichita. And as part of that conference, there's also a bus driver safety competition. And we typically will have a few people go and compete in that. And usually we have somebody that places in the top 10 or something, and we do okay. This year, we had some people do really well. And I've asked Andrew Steenbach, who's our transportation supervisor, and I'm gonna ask Dan DeSanto to come up with him, just so you guys can meet Dan. Dan is taking over for Ginger Dahl, our transportation manager. So him and Andrew will be partners up there running the department for us. But one thing I am gonna say though, my favorite part about going to that conference is that typically I get to judge the competition. And this year I was not able to do that. So I don't know if it's related or not that I wasn't there, that they did so well, but hopefully not, because I really like doing it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But go ahead, Andrew.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you, Board. Thanks for having us here tonight. I'd like to honor these 4 employees of mine. They went to they have a regional. It was in Emporia this year. Did very well. Had some very high places, and then they went on to state in Wichita, Kansas on June 3rd, and as a team, they finished 3rd in the whole state, which is fantastic. We have a little side note. Diane here, she got thrown in at the very, very last second. She is considered a rookie, and each year to complete a team, you have to have someone on your team that it's their first go around at it. And Rich and I were having a meeting, and I said, "Hey, our rookie at the last second broke a foot, had to duck out, and we were trying to go through names of people that would represent us well." Diane had been working on Dave Montgomery's summer crew, and so we knew she was around the area, so I got her on the phone, and she accepted and said, "Andrew, I'll do anything for you." And she was on the road within 2 hours of flipping around and going down, and helped this team get a 3rd place spot. They all individually placed very, very well, but without that one piece, they wouldn't be recognized as a team. So that was a huge thing, and I thank you, Diane, for jumping in on that piece of it. Anna Cooper, Frank Kent, Diane Collins, and Stephanie Johns were a member of that team. So they did a fantastic job, especially on the short notice. On the overall piece, on the individual, Stephanie Johns finished 2nd overall in the whole state of, they call it conventional, but the big buses on that piece. So she finished 2nd in the big bus and 3rd overall in the whole competition. So a fantastic job. And that qualified her to go to the national championships, or international is what they call them, because they bring in a few people from Canada and other places. And she went down to Austin, Texas on June 29th and 30th, and she placed 3rd in the conventional big bus in the whole United States, and 5th in the whole overall competition. Fantastic representation of us, and kudos to her for going down there and really representing us very, very well and making us all proud.
Yeah. I have questions. Tell me about this school bus. I'm a former school bus driver, so what does that look like? Are you guys driving through cones, or please, I want to understand this.
Questions?
So we used to call it a rodeo, and the state thought that was too much excitement, so they wanted it to be a safety competition, but a lot of the older still call it a rodeo.
Yeah.
International still calls it rodeo.
Do they?
They just spell it road-O. And FYI, you were very missed.
Oh, okay.
Rich usually does what's called the $100 spot, and it's the only that's not actually point-wise, but it's something you want. You have to get your inner passenger dual 100% covered up a $100 bill. I missed it this year because I didn't see you. So I 100% missed that one this year. What it is it's an obstacle course designed for just about everything we would encounter on the road. So anywhere from a student load, a railroad, parallel parking, offset alley, which is pulling and then literally to an offset, diminishing clearance, and that starts out from the width of your bus plus 10 inches all the way from the width of your bus till 2 inches. You're not allowed to stop your bus at any given moment or you'll be deducted points, and you're not allowed to hit a stanchion or you'll deduct points. And then after so many, you just lose all of them. And then what else is there? A stop line, which you have to stop as soon as your wheels stop. That's where you have to stop within 0 to 3 inches of where your bus needs to be. Curb line, right hand or left hand turn, or both, without hitting stanchions, and your duals must hit a plate in a certain spot. Straight line. Oh, that's my nemesis.
Do you guys have like drag competitions or anything like that?
Some of them are timed, some of the events are
Yeah.
timed, so you have to.
And you could win or lose the event on time.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So actually, district, mine was a tiebreaker, and it was based on time. So I got it based on a tiebreaker, a district.
And when we're talking parallel parking, the amount of space you have is the length of the bus and 7 feet.
Yeah, I don't
And
like.
all
for
you got.
reference, when you get your license, it's the length of the bus plus 15.
I don't think I've ever parallel parked a bus. I think that's a skill for sure.
You can come hang out with me for about an hour, and I'll show
Yeah.
you.
That'd be awesome. We get bus training as a school board member. So. Well, thank you guys. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Let me take a picture.
I'll take a picture.
Rich, you got it.
Thank you for having us, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Debbie, when you want a picture? We'll take a picture if you wanna come on up.
Yeah, I can do it.
Or you can stand in between us.
Brad, here's the pictures now.
Bookend them.
Brad, you gotta block us. You gotta.
Here, you two do that, and I'll just slide right here. That works, okay?
All right, ready? Rodeo. Got it.
Well,
Thank you.
congratulations, everybody. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, good to see you.
All right, now we'll go to 202, public comment. We don't think we have anybody tonight for a comment. Okay, no, seeing no one here for public comment, we'll go to roll calls, 301. We have, all members are present with the exception of Jeremy Wiltz and Brian Smith. And we'll move to 302, the approval of the agenda.
I move the board approves the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. And we'll move on to section 4, disposition of business by consent.
I move the Board of Education approve business by consent, including payment of bills in the amount of $5,413,531.38.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor? And anyone opposed? And motion passes 5-0. Next on the agenda, we have administrator reports.
Thank you. This evening, last month, you provided authority for the year-end closeout and transfers. Brett Bauer has provided you that year-end report this evening with detail, and so I'll turn it over to Brett to see if he has any final comments here, so we can move on from that annual process. Brett?
Yeah, happy to stand for any questions that you might have. You'll notice we did have to lean on capital outlay this year, and we knew that we would. That was planned with the opening of the new school building. Extra draw on our general fund resources, so.
Brett, this may be a pedantic question, but on the general fund budget, the difference between the audited and the original approved, was that just like a miscalculation, or was there a reason we removed it?
So, we set the budget in September, and we go through a state audit sometime usually in January, February, and they audit all of our enrollment numbers and weightings, and so any number of things can result in changes to that final legal max budget, as well as categorical aid, which I talk about a little bit in that memo. It's based on an early estimate, but it really relies on final special teacher counts that are submitted in the spring, and we actually don't find out what we get from that source until June, until the year is essentially over. And so it's audit adjustments and changes in weightings and the change in the final categorical aid number.
So these will happen as a rule of thumb every
Yep.
year.
Sometimes it's in our favor. It can go both ways. But our levy for the supplemental general fund is fixed. So even if it's in our favor, sometimes we can't levy any additional taxes, and so we are limited by the lesser of either our published budget or the final legal max. So the legal max, the final audited legal max for supplemental general was also slightly less by a few $100. So, yep, it's a very strategic estimate, if you will. So,
Darn
good
auditors.
question.
Any other discussion?
We have no other administrator reports tonight.
Okay, thank you, Katie. All right, and we will turn to item 6.0, Eagle Scout project proposal with Rich Jones.
You bet, thank you. I'm going to invite Aiden Rimmer to come up. I also want to recognize Mrs. Williams is here tonight to support this project. Aiden has met with both Ms. Williams and myself and gone through details and the process for doing an Eagle Scout project. He's looking at adding a piece of playground equipment to the Pauline Central Playground for us. And I'm going to have him go ahead and give you the details and talk about the exact piece of equipment that he's planning to put in over there.
All right, so the thing I'm trying to add is a Gaga ball pit. There are some at a lot of the other schools so far. I don't know if there are any others that don't have it. I haven't checked out a lot of locations. But from what I've seen, here is one of them. So it is an octagon with sides of 8x8 length. And then they do usually have rubber mats in the bottom just for the kids to stay safe on them. Let's see. This one will be at Pauline Central. Right here. This is the proposed location that we have so far. It is sort of off to the northern side of the playground over in this grassy field. It doesn't take a whole lot of space up. So sort of there's the rough location that we've got. This is an old picture off Google Maps, but yeah, that's what I've got for that. Are there any questions you guys have so far?
Well, my question is, kind of what went into the decision to kind of work with Pauline South? Is it just because they don't have them, or,
Pauline Central does not have
Pauline
one.
Central?
Pauline South does, but I heard from another Eagle Scout that did a project at the same school, Pauline Central, that they were looking into getting one, but they didn't have anyone to do that project so far. So I sort of built off of him and his idea, and so I thought I'd reach out and sort of try to figure that one out.
Very cool.
I didn't let you know, Aiden is a senior going into his senior year at Washburn Rural and a member of Troop 249.
Yeah.
And we, like I said, we met, we've agreed to, as long as the board approves, we've agreed that the district will clear that area for him and put down the rubber mats. We have a stockpile of those that we use on playgrounds already anyway. We'll put those down and we'll provide the metal brackets to tie the lumber together. He and his troop will provide all the lumber and the labor, everything to assemble and build it. And I think I put it in my, I did put it in there. When the board accepts an Eagle Scout project or donation from PTO or anyone, once that's accepted, then it becomes the district's responsibility and it becomes district property. So for new members that didn't know that, we haven't had one for a while. We did playground, PTO did playground at Indian Hills.
Yes, that's right.
But we haven't had an Eagles project for a while. So just kind of for your information, that's how those are typically handled.
I did have one point of concern. Can you pull up the Indian Hills one again? So 3 years ago, my daughter broke her finger in that. So it's a sore subject for our family, but no. She really loved Gaga Ball even after that. But anyway.
Yeah, and I commend you for thinking of the school districts. That's very nice of you. But I do have a question just about the, materials and whatnot. Is there like a safety standard that we have to follow that we said, yep, you have to have this kind of material and it has to be, sanded to like this grid or something like that?
Yep, and Aiden and I have gone through that and talked about the pressure treated lumber so that it doesn't rot away or have a bunch of splinters or things in it. So we typically don't have a lot of wooden pieces. We used to, and we've gotten rid of most of those. But Gaga pits are super popular right now, and that's how they're constructed. We've had, and Aiden did a good job of researching, going to Indian Hills, and he and I met at Pauline South and looked at that one. And those are ones that those buildings had purchased and bought off of a different website and gotten the materials that they needed for that. So.
What's the timeline that you're trying to aim for completion?
So I would need another month to get it to my my troops board to discuss my project, and then there is another meeting at a higher level that I have to pursue. But for the project itself, after all of the sort of approval type stuff, I would only need about a weekend to get it done. I think I might even be able to do it in a day to actually put all the materials together and get it constructed.
So students could potentially have access to it this school year.
Yeah, definitely this school year. I was aiming for like September to possibly October, depending on if there are any like hiccups going on, but probably September is what I'm aiming for.
That's cool.
And Rich, in the materials, there's not any specific like dollar amount. Is there anything that we need to approve for like a cost?
No, our end of it's probably going to be around $600 or $700. And like I said, the mats, we have a pile of those that, and those aren't a required piece for that playground piece, but we do it. Especially a couple of the playgrounds, they're setting on asphalt, and so like the Indian Hills one, we put those in ourselves.
And the Gaga Ball is supposed to bounce though, right?
Yeah, yeah. But just we put some extra safety precautions in on our own just because of that. But they have to be playing pretty hard to break a finger.
Not bitter about that.
Best of luck, and we look forward to your final
Thanks for your
product.
presentation.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming tonight and good luck.
Thank you. Anything else you guys need from me,
No.
or is that it?
That's it.
You're good.
Appreciate it. Good
Ready
luck on
to
your senior
go.
year.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to action item number 7.0, review.
This is the classified combined employee handbook that was presented to you last month with really minimal substantive revision changes that was presented to you by Chelsea Schwarzkopf. So the recommendation is for approval this evening.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion.
I move that the Board of Education approve the updated combined classified employee handbook for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? No one opposed. Motion passes 5-0. All right, next, there are no communication items, section 8 for today. So I will look to move, the chair would move to go into executive session to discuss the following. Personnel matters pursuant to the exception for non-elected personnel under coma. Discuss the budget pursuant to the exception for employer-employee negotiations under coma. Discuss students pursuant to the exception relating to actions adversely or favorably affecting coma, students under coma. And to discuss emergency operation planning with law enforcement pursuant to the exception matters relating to safety and security measures under coma.
Second.
The board,
20.
yep, the board, the chair will move the executive session for 20 minutes and reconvene at 7:10.
Second.
All in favor? All right, motion passes 5-0. We will begin executive session. last item of business. 9.01, out of district and out of attendance recommendation. Do I have a motion for that?
I move that the Board of Education approve out-of-district and out-of-attendance requests for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? All right. Motion passes 5-0.
Good meeting, Brad.